I'm not sure if there's going to be a point to making this kind of video, if anyone actually even cares, but truth of the matter is, I enjoy playing Fortnite only on the Switch. The main reason is that, I want to say it's been a year, but it could have been many months ago, Fortnite recently had a big overhaul to the control system, enabling native gyro support for the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons and the Pro Controller as well. And this feature is only allowed on the consoles that can have gyro and technically on PC, but the PlayStation controllers need to have it wired in for the gyro to work natively. But for Switch, you just use the Joy-Cons as is. You can even have them detached, and it's a very comfortable experience. So the way I've been playing is have the gyro up, aim always on for both combat and building, and accompany it with an alternate method to the right stick. The way the right stick has been used for about 20-25 years now, starting with the Halo franchise, is that you use left and right to pan the camera or your viewpoint left and right, and tilt up and down. Made sense at the time, still makes sense now because we've been doing it for 20 years. But a different way is to have the stick, the entire stick, the extremities of it in a circle, control the panning of where you're looking relative to your forward view. So holding up on the right stick looks forward, and then flick it back to do a 180 back, left and right to do a 90, and you can even go in between any of those angles. Not only that, once you flick in the way, you'll look immediately in that direction, but if you keep the stick held and you do circles, you can then look all around you. And this is phenomenal. This is like innovation in the twin stick genre of games, the twin stick method of controlling games. Now, what I go into here is going to be a lot more details on how in-depth Fortnite's controls go just for native gyro support, and no other game really comes close. Like Nintendo's gyro support games like Splatoon and Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, at least have gyro enabled, and it's a big compliment, especially for the Splatoon, which is a shooter, a third-person shooter, but still a shooter nonetheless, that uses the same kind of method of gyro aiming. But this game has done its research. It's found nearly any kind of quirk you could think about, and handles it all, allows you to handle it all, so that you can get what you think is perfect. And the thing with gyro, because it's such a new medium, it really is all up for experimentation. Now, you can say the same way with sticks. Like, you look at Apex Legends control schemes, you can get very in-depth with how you want stick aiming, because the way perfect stick aiming works is always going to be different from person to person. That's just the truth of the matter, regardless what a professional gamer tells you or a streamer tells you, because professionals want full control, but streamers just want like a comfortable experience to get around. After all, half their job is going to be talking to random people, not really playing the video game. So if you gotta let the game play for you, that's what streamers are going to do. But that's not how I do it. I want control, but I also want alternatives instead of using the right stick. Gyro is one of them. So this is what this is why I keep going back to this game, because no other game really goes to, so in depth with it. And not only that, the way that Fortnite's Battle Royale works now, especially when you're pursuing the Battle Pass, which you do on a season basis every couple months, there's a lot of stuff to do that isn't just going around killing people before you die. Like Apex Legends, like the final, and PUBG, any other battle royales you can think about, it's also center focused on PvP action. But because Fortnite is so big, and technically Fortnite was even founded on PvP in the first place, so it excelled a lot more in exploring. So because of that, you have a lot more of a better time going into Fortnite, learning the new controls, and not being so overwhelmed with Battle Royale. Now, it's still, like, every phase, the first phase is like 2-3 minutes. That's all the time that you have in order to really get acquainted. And then once you're done with that, then all you gotta do is just stay in the circle and hopefully you don't die. But aside from that, as you're exploring around, you're playing around with the camera, you're gonna be doing that a lot. So you may as well be playing with a new kind of system that allows you to control the camera. So you don't have to really like stay with me to go into a lot of the gyro stuff. Let me jump down to. Let me just see how in depth this really gets. Oh god. Yeah. Like half of you people, do you even know like what many of these guys do? I know what half of them do because I check them all. They're not on default, so you don't have to stay with me to humor me on how great everything is or how I think great everything is. And these are just the other auxiliary options on here. Oh, second reason. Quick weapon. They just introduced this just at the end of the last season, and now they're putting it into Battle Pass OG. This is also innovation, for Christ's sake. The way weapons have been used when you're on the controller, you have to use L and R to switch back and forth on a list of 5, and it's fine. It's manageable. The problem is, you're using 2 buttons to select on quick weapons, whereas PC players can choose pretty much a number 1 through 5. And they don't have to think about that. It's just one of those numbers. Whereas here, we need to think, how many times do you need to press right bumper? Or is it faster just to press left bumper once, to press right bumper 4 times to get to the weapon that you want? This instead is like a weapon wheel, except that it doesn't use the stick. It only uses one of the weapon buttons, the R button in this case, to enable the hot wheel. If you release R without doing anything, you press it and then you release it, you automatically go to either the first slot of your weapon, or if you're on the first slot, you go to the second weapon. Seems confusing, but why this happens makes sense when you consider what happens everywhere else. When you hold down R, and then you press one of the face buttons, each of those face buttons, and they change, unfortunately they're very dynamic switching, but each of those face buttons chooses a unique slot on your weapon list, and you immediately go to that. And it's so fluent, especially when you gotta like look down at your hotbar every now and then just to find out which button switches to which, because they do switch. But considering that they give you the correct buttons, which is very manageable. This is not something you're gonna be able to see on PC, because unfortunately with PC, it's still such a tricky thing seeing people try to integrate proper PC support, that if you try to remap your gamepad to keyboards, you gotta remember what keys are gonna be going to, especially when with something like this. If things are gonna be switching around, because R needs to either be weapon 1, weapon 2, and it depends on what the game is telling you, then you're better off getting that kind of capability from the game. So, and then finally, what I want to show are my customized controls on here. There's been like some kind of weird movement. I don't know if it started on Reddit or like with some of these streamers or something, where the way we've been doing aim down sights and shooting is ZL aims, right ZR shoots. And this is because, especially with the right Joy-Con detached, you hold it like a gun, you shoot with your right trigger finger, makes sense, it should be shoot. But what many people have been thinking is that had you been aiming with the right stick and then shooting with the ZR, your right hand, not even in its most elaborate movement, it's being very overwhelmed with aiming and shooting at the same time. By splitting the roll to ZL, you fire with this weapon, and then you use this one if you need to hold it down, and it's just a hold the aim thing. Moving around with your right stick, well, in my case, I'm gonna be moving around with the gyro. With my right hand, especially with the gyro, I use my entire hand, my wrist, my arm, to move it instead of just my thumb. And then here, just focuses on attacking. Same with pinging. Look around with the right, ping with the left, attack with the left. If I need to toggle onto the inventory, that stays on there. And then, especially because I'm rarely gonna be using the right stick, I'm only gonna be using it to circle myself, to circle the camera around my point of view. I'll show you that when I hop in the game. But because I'm not using the right stick as much, I can now actually use all these face buttons without claw gripping, which is something that started with the original Call of Duty games, where you had to play on console, you had to use the right stick to move around, so you had to have like 3 fingers on top of the controller to be able to do multiple things. And while people thought that was a good way to get some exercise in your fingers, it's not really acceptable anymore. We're like 25 years into the future now, we don't have to play like this. So I'll just do one battle royale. My only objective is just to get the quest done, my dailies. Actually, this is also what I like about the dailies. It's like there's one spot that I can go to. No deliberation. That's just what I'm going to once I drop. Actually, something else here. Well, I get the grapple glove. Okay, I'll get that later. Now, the good thing about this season is that it's OG. So, the big, overwhelming issue with Battle Royales, especially when you're playing with millions of players online, is that there's still so many things that are considered overpowered, such as being able to freaking fly whenever you want just because you picked up the right legendary weapon during the part of the Battle Pass. But during the OG, it's very simple. You just got these kind of guns right here. Like, regular rifles, SMGs. Like, there were some fancier SMGs, some of them shoot magical bullets, some of them had no homing properties, thank God. It wasn't really made that easy, but, like, it was just a little bit too much. Let's not to say let's get realistic, but let's get simpler with the whole gameplay. Because I'm sure everyone when freaking Goku appeared in the Battle Pass, everyone wanted to ride around a Nimbus, which is fine, especially for a big map like this. But when Nimbus is such a limited item to get, then it's like, oh, you get Nimbus to win the game. So it's like, well, why is Nimbus in the game? Aside from fan service. I saw the chest down there, but I think I'm gonna go here. Right here's some on my left. Now, it'd be cooler if I can get the overlay up so that way you can actually see how I'm moving on the gyro, but it's a little hard to do on the Switch. I think I have to tap into getting the Joy-Con to, like, somehow connect with the PC with some... I'm just gonna break through here. I thought there was a door. There's no door. Oh, jeez, a fortress. Okay. I'm just gonna pop this if he runs in here. I'll have a gun. Or I'll leave. Now, what may seem unfortunate or, like, very, unacceptable to some people is the frame rate. It's not... the highest the frame rate can go is 30. Sometimes it chugs. But the remarkable thing about Fortnite that no other game really does, at least the online games, is that Fortnite is still responsive. I still feel like I'm in control, even if the frame rate tanks. Overwatch needs to take some pointers, because I don't know what the hell they've been doing in those source code to have such low, very low, like, priority on input as opposed to game feel. Or perhaps how everything else that feels to everyone else. That it's like, do they even want, like, control players to even have fun? I really don't know. Especially with the, Overwatch has gone free to play, but I really can't stand the Battle Pass system. At least with Fortnite, you actually do get stuff. And because how open Fortnite is... Again, I don't have to go shooting people, it's just I had the opportunity, so I took it. But I do plan on leaving very soon, 6-shooter. I don't know why I need 3 bushes. There's... okay. You insist? It's not that my aim is bad, it's just I'm not really trying right now. Well, they're not trying either. And there's someone behind me. Yeah, see, like that? Try doing that on sticks, being able to flick wherever you are when you're surrounded. Getting to the right angle that you're at. Okay, I need to, like... Everyone needs to stop shooting for a second. I need to breathe. Oh, I want that. What is this? Oh, it's a trap. Yeah. I haven't done much building. I've only done building recently. Because, also another thing is that they've recently put in zero build. It's actually funny. How it started was that it was just the regular Battle Royale game mode. You can still build, but only in certain sections of the map, building was not allowed. It was called No Building Zone. It was kind of funny how I put it out there. And then, I want to say, when the new Battle Pass dropped, they then had a new mode where they just took out building altogether in the Battle Royale mode. So, if you're not a big fan of having midway live action, not live action, action RPG defense mechanics right into your game. You just want to play how you do it in Apex, you absolutely can. Just by taking out the building. And I actually recommend a lot of people start doing with that because the building can get really overwhelming. Because it's like, oh, you have all these materials, you see let me bring it here. The log, the brick, the stone, I'm sorry, metal. You have all those materials, so at any time you can build, and you can build like simple things like floors, ramps, walls. Is one building right here, or just built here? Or is this just delayed? I don't know. Just being polite. Yeah, it's just like being able, like a really good practice for Flickstick is just go into a building and just look around. Like imagine trying to do that with sticks, it's so overwhelming. Whereas with gyro and Flickstick all enabled on here, it's like what do you think about it? You just turn. Okay, I'm tempted to like well, I'm safe. I'm keeping an eye. Now, what I really would like is that if you could have a gyro mouse cursor because it's still on the right stick. I bet that's just for backwards compatibility or just stability, so that you don't get so overwhelmed with the gyro. Now, also, if you never touched gyro before, like any kind of motion sensing for aiming, you also don't have to do it this way, where I'm always moving my control all the time to be moving the gyro. What you can have it do is that I'm gonna try and mimic it. So, say like this is my like right stick movement, just pretend, and then I aim, then the gyro is activated. Now this is, hang on, I have to hold my controller. Yeah, and the gyro will be only activated when you're aiming down the sights. That is a setting that is recommended for first-time players that you can actually absolutely do. You don't have to do it the way I do it. There's no perfect solution for anyone. Just know that Fortnite, well, it's first off free to play. Second, it gives you the most customizability that you can do for looking around. Really embracing a lot of the options of optimization. I feel bad for this guy's 6-shooter. Now, I want to compare, because I really don't... Because I think this is a bug. They have not given... Yeah, they gave the pistol's description, but not the 6-shooter. So, slower firing rate. Obviously, 6 shots. Did someone just... That's building. Okay, I thought someone jumped over me. It takes longer to reload, just for a little more power. So, no thank you. Okay. Okay, I also gotta find the grapple glove, because apparently I need to do a thing where I travel distance without touching the ground. I don't know how easy that is to do with the grapple glove. I don't remember the grapple glove being an OG. Did I? Okay, now I want to go north. Oops. I was trying to zoom, it wouldn't let me... There we go. Yeah, sometimes the game gets buggy and stuff like that, but it's like only just for a little happenstance. Nothing's game-breaking that's happened so far. What's happening here? At this point, it's just fodder. I'm aware that many of these guys are probably bots, but you know, that's also the thing I do like about playing on Switch. You don't have to deal with that much of people, and like I said, I only play just for the quests. I don't play to get good. I play because this is a very comfortable control scheme. I'm given free roam, and all I gotta do is just like practice my sense of awareness. That's really good. If Fortnite had a game, like its own game mode, similar to like Save the World, although I don't really want like what I saw in the beta for Save the World, where it's just tower defense. That's freaking boring. I want there to be just like do what you're doing for Battle Royale. Give me an open world, but don't pressure me with this whole Circle of Storm stuff. Well, let me go wherever I want, even if it's single player or just like local online co-op just for 4 people. Like, I wouldn't mind this. Just like a nice way to do quests, especially when you have this kind of control scheme that's very comfortable to do. I thought I would have admired something like that because I think I picked up like Plants vs Zombies Battle of the Neighborhood because I learned that has native gyro support, and while it's functional, the game is boring. So I would have held on to that a lot more if the game was a lot more exciting, but like in the multiplayer, there's nothing to do because no one's playing. In the single player, the quest is so boring because the pacing's so slow, because everything is so ardulating, and much of the game is like there's no strategy to it. All the cooldowns are like, they're faithful to how plants function, but there's no sense of like flow that's ever comfortable. That really gives me a good sense of it. Gyro aiming be damned. So it's like, it doesn't save the game at all. So if you slap gyro aiming on like a piece of shit game, I'll try the gyro bits just to see if anyone's learning, but I'm not gonna play with your game because it's a piece of shit. So that's only the 2 things you gotta learn. I play Fortnite on Switch because I prefer the customizability, and Plants vs Zombies Battle for the Neighborhood is a piece of shit game. EA should be disappointed with themselves, but I don't think they ever will be because first they want to take everyone's money. Oh, I need that. So first, oh, weapon wheel. So if I hold, let me go behind the tree so I'm like in cover. Hopefully no one snipes me. So if I hold down R, that's my wheel, and this shows you how I go to each weapon, and it's very fluent. It's like, you may think this may take time. Like, that's just to show you the visual HUD. It doesn't affect the functionality of being able to switch on the fly. Like, I'm just tapping R and I can switch between these 2 first slots, but if I hold it down, I can see from here which item I'm going to depending on which button I press. So most of the time, it's going to be on... I'm trying to do it right. Okay, so if I'm on slot 1, R should give me the... I'm sorry, not... Well, yeah, R should give me the rifle, but because I have the rifle, it goes to the second slot instead. Now, it's on the first slot, so pressing R gets me to the first slot. It's like, you don't think about it, but it's like, it's such a handy thing because had it been like a normal way, R would just always go to the first slot, and so it's like you press R, nothing should happen because you're in the first slot. But instead, you have another function where because you're in the first slot, just put it to the second slot, and it's just another shortcut to do that. So R for second slot, R plus Y for second slot, and then R for X for third, A for 4, B for 5. So that's I guess these are only dynamic switching. I thought it'd be a lot more. I thought X, A, and B would actually change depending on that, but I guess I was incorrect about that. So it's really not that bad. But yeah, I keep this on the whole time, and I never want to go back to L and R to switch between bumpers ever again. Freaking Minecraft should learn about that, because there's only 3 ways to switch between items. You either have something bound to left and right weapon switch, or you use a mouse wheel, which is pretty much the same thing, just faster. It honestly is just pretty much look left and right. There's really no difference in the weapon wheel. Or you press 1 through 9 on the keyboard, because you have 9 assigned buttons to all that. Now, what Minecraft could really do is that they only have 2 buttons that involve the weapon switching, but while you're holding down those buttons, the face buttons could be used to switch between 1 through 4 and 5 through 8. And releasing one of them can go to weapon 9, just as an example. That's something that they can do, but I'm sure they refuse to innovate because Microsoft. Because why would Microsoft ever innovate? They just buy whatever's popular and, yeah, it's just been and call it a day. What else would you do? Anything else? That's a regular submachine gun. I know it's a rarer compared to the pistol. Well, I don't know if I have a quest to get rarers. I don't, so I'm not gonna bother. Oh, I should actually try to do this thing. So 100. Okay, so can this reach? Nope, 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 nope. Hold on, cancel. Thank you. Cancel. Too far. So I'm gonna go here without touching the ground. I see a bush running around, so I'm gonna take care of that soon. Yeah, bush. I think that's the bush right there. Right there? Ah, you're... Yeah, I thought you were in a bush. Oh, careful. He's got... Okay, come on, come on. Okay. Okay, LMG wins. Yeah, that's, I'm not gonna play much more. This is just gonna be a one-off video just to show. This is what I like to do in my free time. If I got quests to do, I want to hop into a game that actually has a lot of customization, feels good to play, is good to roam around in. And yeah, that's that.